Hello, Matt. Hello, Tom. Welcome to newsbtc.com.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm fine, Matt, and how about you?
Well, looking forward to disrupt some industries in the following 2 years.
I'm sure your partner Tom is feeling the same. Hi, how are you, Tom?
Definitely, definitely. I'm very excited about the project and the opportunity.
My first question is that you're from InsurePal and you must be really, experienced in the insurance industry, and that's why you have launched a product that is completely about insurance and how you can implement that on the top of blockchain. Before dwelling it into further, I would like to know your professional background and how did you reach to the spot, both of you.
Okay, so I'll start. My background is private equity and insurance. For the last 20 years, I've been investing and helping companies to grow. For the last 5 years, I've been working with companies which are more in insurance, basically in underwriting and fraud detection with large companies like Groupama, like Allianz France, like Fosun or Fidelidade, helping them to tackle fraud and to do better underwriting. Um, so basically, I have seen the insurance from inside.
Uh,
Yeah, Tom.
I'm co-founder of Adacta as well. Adacta is an IT company, and we're in Adacta making a core insurance system, and we are selling this system mainly in Central and Eastern Europe. Adacta has 450 employees, so we are pretty in depth in insurance, and that's how we came across the idea with Matt how we can try to make it better.
So how did you guys actually meet and came up with the concept of InsurePal?
Oh, but I mean, basically, meeting was let's say long years ago. So we know each other for I would say almost 15 years. But we started to work, let's say, on a InsurePal in the last 2 years because we were more seeing that there's a gap in insurance. So the last 2 years have been really great and meeting a lot of insurers, meeting a lot of some of the regulators. So it was really uh, exciting work.
Yeah, basically what we saw, and when we are talking to the people, you have some insurance clients overpaying their premium, and then when we looked into it, we saw that this is actually the truth. It's not just the feeling. So actually, good clients, they are in a proportion, they are paying for the bad ones, and that's how we came to an idea how to change this.
Yeah, when that's actually what I was going to ask you about, that every ICO out there is coming up with solutions to a problem, to an existing problem. And you guys are trying to solve a problem. I really have to know the problem first, that what there is a problem, if there is a problem in insurance industry, what exactly is it? And how InsurePal is trying to solve it. Can you explain the model?
Yeah, basically, maybe I'll start with if you pay today an insurance policy. So if you pay 100 pounds for insurance policy, 60 pounds is spent for your claims. Out of that, approximately 10% is fraud. On the top of 100 pounds, which you paid for the premium, there's approximately 15% of premium leakage. What premium leakage is that basically somebody asks you how many miles do you do, and you say, well, I do 5,000 miles. In fact, you do 20,000 miles. So that's all bringing the cost up. And if you see currently all the all the let's say premiums are going up, and of course this is just one coin of the story. The other part of the story is of course that insurers are trying to tackle that with really invasive things like big data, checking your Facebook account, or doing telematics. We think there's a other way, which is a way by vouching for others and reducing the underwriting problems. And
So there's still a scope that how InsurePal is, tackling this issue. What you're trying to propose here? What's the innovation?
Yeah, maybe I can here explain. So actually, what is the innovation part of the InsurePal is we call it so-called social proof. So the idea behind this that if you think that you are a responsible and diligent person, and in case of motor insurance that you are a safe driver, and you can find a friend or family member who is willing to confirm that, you can get a big discount. By vouching for you, it does not mean that they are just recommending you, but they have to put money behind this, so that it becomes a real recommendation because nobody wants to lose money. An insurance company can then rely on this recommendation. So this is, in fact, what Matt was explaining before. We are replacing invasive methods like telemetrics, like going into people's Facebooks, into privacy, with let's say social endorsement.
I still am not getting one thing that there should be some upside of financially guaranteeing another person on the network. I mean, why do you think a private individual would be willing to take that risk?
Yeah, because these individuals they get a reward. If you are vouching for someone, you get an upfront payment in IPL tokens, and you are helping your friend. So you are rewarded twice, with the reward itself and with the, let's say, emotional reward that you are helping your friend.
Okay. And my question is for you, Matt. I mean, no, Tom has answered. He has just mentioned a token, and there is a so-called social proof, network you're trying to create that I get. But how does this model exactly work? How does it interact with each other? I mean, what is the process behind it? Could you explain it more?
Yeah, well, basically, even today, if I want to have your social proof, basically, if I want to see whether your friends are trusting you, you can ask your friends whether they would vouch for you. And of course, this is a good way that you can put that also on a blockchain, because blockchain is a perfect for that because it enables you to have it private.
Right.
You can lock it with your private key, and you have it at your side, not at the side of the insurance. So basically, the token itself, it enables you also to lock your private data on a blockchain. And of course, it enables also other things like first vouching for the other people. Secondly is let's say it's a fuel to add additional people to the network. It's also able to reduce your price of new policy. It's also possible to, let's say, do in a second round also claims processing. So the token enables this ecosystem around the insurance business as a whole.
That's great. And can you also let me know that beyond your strategic partnership with a I mean, you must have a smart contract behind it, of course, and there must be a strategic partnership. You must be signing up with legal, uh, you know, you can say regulatory bodies for this because I think insurance is pretty much a regulated industry in itself, and you're working in a decentralized space. I also want to know that how are you backing it legally, within the existing framework we have, as far as legality is concerned. Do you have any other, any partnership in the offering that you would like to talk about?
Well, basically, as you know, that if you want to do the insurance today, at least the classical insurance, you have to have a carrier. And we are in discussion with several carriers to do it through the carriers and also the MGA administrators. So basically, if you want to do today a classical insurance, of course, you have to have a license. So that's a precondition. Of course, there's also insurance on a blockchain, which is a little different. And I'll ask maybe Tom maybe to explain a little about the insurance on the blockchain, which is a little away from the classical one.
Yeah, today blockchain is a great thing, but you don't see a lot of business transactions on a blockchain, and we think that the main obstacle is that you have, let's say, not fully disclosed identities on a blockchain, and with not knowing with whom you are dealing with, it does not give you a trust level high enough that you would do a transaction. So, for example, if a guy from Albania wants to sell a mobile phone to somebody in Africa, and these guys, never met, if it's a prepayment of the phone, then the guy in Africa is a little bit nervous if he will get the phone and in what condition the phone will be. In case of post-payment, the guy from Albania, he is nervous if he will get the payment. And if you introduce insurance into this, then they both become comfortable because the value of the transaction can be insured. And either Albanian or African guy, they know that at the end they will get the financial compensation if something goes wrong. So this is the idea how insurance can help that the trust level on the blockchain goes up and that the transactions will start flowing.
But might I ask,
Maybe,
sorry, Matt, you.
maybe just sometimes people are oversimplifying the InsurePal because they think it's just one single part, which is the social proof. I mean, since we've been working in the insurance industry, we really see a lot of ways to let's say improve the total model. Even today, if you see GDPR is basically a EU regulation which says that no insurance company should have your personal data, not the personal data which are not existential to do the contract. We think that blockchain can enable that you have your private data at yourself, not in centralized insurance. So there are really a lot of ways where we can improve the current insurance with the blockchain and with the social proof. So we would like to be in a kind of a small frame, which says we do just one part of the business.
First coming from the technical point of view, I mean, you have been mentioning blockchain to hold on to these data records. But right now we are in a stage where even blockchains are not sufficient enough to transact this much data. And we're talking about a multi-billion dollar industry right now called insurance. If you want to go to that level of expertise in providing people a completely innovative solution, I mean, blockchain has to evolve, don't you think? So this is some sort of a challenge to you. So how do you want to tackle this thing in the future? The
No,
scalability, the scalability, just in case.
blockchain will evolve, and now a lot of very smart people they are dealing with this problem. It's not our task to solve this, but we strongly believe that it will be solved. For the traditional financial system, for let's say, for example, banking, it took many hundreds of years to establish the necessary level of trust that we actually trust the banking system.
Right.
And what blockchain did in, let's say, 15 years, it's amazing. They did what was in the past. They took many hundreds of years. They did it in just, let's say, a few years. And this will come. And of course, on the ledger, we're speaking about the blockchain. We don't have to keep everything on the ledger. On the ledger, at the end, we can just keep some hashes that actually that we can confirm that all the documents and all the material we are relying on is exactly where it has to be.
I mean, a really good part is that since we have been, I mean, we have seen that it's difference if you write 70 policies per year or if you write 5 million policies per year. It's a huge scalability, but as said, Tom's company has been now processing with some of the clients more than 25 million life policies. So we know that in order to do it really scalable, you really have to be smart and do it step by step. We don't think that that currently you can do a full-blown blockchain solution, but some parts can be there the main part which we see is your privacy, your private data. That can be pretty fast. And of course, also the contracts, as you know, when we talked to Materium, there were first already cases on the court, on UK courts, where the judges decided about the smart contracts, which means that there's also judicial system following the smart contracts.
Great. So, I mean, that's one of the challenge, of course. I mean, there will be many challenges. You might have already verified these challenges for you in the future. How do you plan to tackle them? You know, and I'll just mention one. Banks are already building their, trying to build their blockchain. They have invested millions of dollars into it, and they might come up with their own insurance solution. So they have a competitive advantage over the companies that are just fruiting up inside the climate. So don't you think they can also be some sort of, they can also slow you down in a way just by being such big and monstrous organizations?
Yeah, they definitely have an advantage of the economy of scale,
Right.
but they are slow movers. They don't want to say goodbye to the old business models, and that's
Centralization, you
why.
mean?
Yeah, that what we said is, we want to focus on the social proof because the social proof is the real innovation behind the InsurePal, and they don't have it, and we patented it. I mean, we filed a patent, and that's where we want to be focused. And we think that the social proof can really lead to something completely new and better insurance.
And again, if I'm a large insurer, I mean, we don't think that we're gonna change the industry overnight because it's a 7 trillion industry. But on the other hand, blockchain really enables you to move your data from centralized institution to, let's say, distributed ledger.
Right.
And if the insurance company is doing that on a distributed ledger, which is called 5 servers, that still has the same vulnerability which you had yesterday.
Right.
So you see a lot of, let's say, tryouts where they say, well, we've done our blockchain. I mean, blockchain with 5 servers, that's not exactly a safe and secure way to store your data.
Correct. That's against the policy of immutability that current blockchain system offers. You're right. Moving to the next part, and that will be exclusively about the ICO. Are you having one?
Yes, we have an ICO on 16th, so in, I would say, 4 days. Looking forward, we have really great feedback from our community. We have more than 50,000 Facebook followers, more than 8,000 people on Telegram. Our community is really growing. Large feedback from classical media, from, let's say, from crypto economy. So basically, we are really in one way surprised that there's so much of questions and, let's say, views and good feedbacks regarding the social proof platform which you are trying to build.
Right. So how much are you planning to raise in the upcoming ICO anyway?
Well, we plan to raise 18 million.
Okay. And how the funds will be distributed?
Of course, the funds will be distributed mainly first to do the platform. Secondly, is for the pilot in UK, and as remainder or part of that will also go to, let's say, developing of the insurance on a blockchain. So those are our, let's say, milestones. We know that we have to build, as you said, robust and, let's say, scalable platform which enables you to do it easily, that it will be available not just for geeks, but for a regular Joe who wants to do a simple insurance on a blockchain.
And the most important question of all, when can user expect the platform to release?
Well, we expect that we could probably, let's say, put the platform up in some parts end of summer. And as every software guy tells you, it's our forecast, and we really have we are really pushing all our colleagues to deliver that, let's say, by the end of the summer.
Any closing thoughts on that, Tom?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
I said, any closing thoughts on that, the delivery?
Any closing
Right.
thoughts? No, we are really excited about the response of the community, how people reacted, how many supporters we have that like the project, and this is our responsibility to deliver what we promised, and we'll work hard and we will succeed, and we will change the insurance industry.
Well, I pray you do so, because we are looking for some amazing ICOs even out there, despite the climate is not right. But we surely hope that your platform does well, and that could be the wrap up for this interview. Thank you very much for speaking to us, both of you, Matt and Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.